Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music you just heard was none other than the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia, and their mega fucking hit song, made mega fucking famous by the Country Hipster Podcast, is called Dirty Knife, and that is our theme music at the beginning there. And you can check out the Unholy Four on Bandcamp and Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube and Instagram and wherever you can find the Unholy Four. Ottsville Record Garage podcast specific promo code for October is spooky. Go to ottsvillerecordgarage.com, make a purchase, use spooky at the promo code section at checkout, and you will save 15% off of your purchase at Ottsville Record Garage through the month of October. To my left is not Adam. Adam is not here. He was supposed to be here. This is not a random record episode. This is an official season 2 episode. It is episode 14 of season 2 and overall 78. This is not a random record episode, but Adam is not here. This is Adam's pick. And to my left is my special guest who was going to be on the podcast anyway. My co-host today was on the Styx episode last season, which was a random record episode. He's the oldest of both season 1 and season 2. It'd be weird if he was the oldest of season 2 and not season 1, but whatever. Yeah, what's that?
That wouldn't work.
It might. You never know. You never know. Then the box of Mike is named after him. Welcome back to the podcast, my oldest and very eldest brother, Michael.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Happy to be here.
Good. So, Mike, since we are doing Rush moving pictures today, you brought us a smattering of some Canadian beers. We got. I am drinking the Moosehead Canadian Lager right now, and you have what do you have there?
I have Molson. What do they call it?
It's a golden lager.
Well, it's a premium beer.
Oh, it's premium beer. It's just a Molson Golden is what it's called.
Golden is what it's called.
Okay.
It's actually a mix of ale and lager.
Okay. I think some people would tell you that that lagers are also ales. It's just how they're brewed. But
that's exactly what differentiates them.
Yeah. So, yes. Well, there you go. So isn't every lager then a mix of an ale and a lager?
No, because they taught me that at Sam Adams.
There you go. Okay.
It's got something to do with the process between the barley and the hops. And some use this, some use that. I don't remember what.
Yeah, no, I hear. So, and then we have a Labatt's that we'll be breaking open at some point during this episode as well. So we have the triple threat of Canadian beers between Moosehead, Molson, and Labatt's. We're talking about a three-piece trio Canadian rock band, Rush. But I have to circle back. Michael, did you watch the Iron Maiden episode from this season?
I did not.
You did not? Okay. You probably should have.
Okay.
Because if Adam were here, he would have a bone to pick with you as well.
Okay.
Okay. So
I didn't watch it?
No. That's not it. So we talked.
English. They're not Canadian.
No, I know. But we talked extensively, and I didn't want to get into it. But friend of the podcast from the Unholy Four, Sean, he was on that episode as well, and he kind of fucking needled in it. He made me go there, and I got upset, I got emotional. So did Adam. So we want to know, what the fuck did you do to the Camaro, dude? Why did you sell the Camaro? That was supposed to be mine. Why? Give us a good fucking reason, because we were so pissed off about the Camaro being gone.
A real reason or something I made up?
All of it, whatever it is, but make it fucking work, because you told me you would never sell the Camaro. You're like, I'm never selling this fucking Camaro. They actually went like this. I'm like, hey, Mike, and you went, what are you, an asshole? And I said, probably. But
before we go there,
okay,
what are you, an asshole?
I know exactly.
See, we're going back in time.
There we go.
I'm going to go back even further. So I was a scout for many years. You were for just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. All I wanted to do was go camping.
You did, yeah, but you earned some things here and there.
Not really.
But no, you really did.
Did I?
And I'm here to honor you.
Oh, are you?
I am here to honor you. So Paul now has the official asshole merit badge. So
that's
now
good.
He's
that's
a true
good.
scout.
So say it again. Ask me again.
Ask you what again?
If I'm an asshole.
Or what are you, an asshole?
I sure fucking am.
Yeah, baby.
That's good. That was not expected. I got my asshole merit badge. We're gonna have to figure out how to put that up somewhere here. at the Country Hipster Podcast. That is good. I was not ready for that. That's very good.
Well, you went there early, so
I did. That's
had
okay.
to.
No, it's perfect.
I figured you'd pull it out eventually during the podcast, and you went there, so
it's perfect. But no, let's go back. So I said to you, I said, Mike, and you're like, what are you, an asshole? I said, yes, obviously, clearly, I'm an asshole. And I said, I want to buy the Camaro from you when you want to get rid of it. I'm never fucking selling the Camaro. I'm like, no, I don't think you should. I'm just saying, if you're ever in a situation, if anything ever comes up that you might need to, I'm not getting rid of the Camaro. I'm like, dude, it's fine. I'll buy the Camaro from you if you're ever going to get rid of the Camaro. I'll take it off your hands. You're like, fuck you. I'm never selling the Camaro. And then you sold the fucking Camaro.
I did.
Not to me.
I don't even know who bought it.
From what I understand, it needed a water pump.
No.
And so you traded it with your mechanic for like a minivan. No? Okay,
No.
so what's the true story?
The true story is it did break down right around the corner. I had just moved to Warminster.
Okay.
All right. So I obviously had a much longer drive from work instead of around the corner.
Right.
Blah, blah. It did break down. It was the starter that went.
Okay.
So it was also coming up for inspection. Well, because I only lived less than 2 miles from work and the age of the car, it was emissions exempt.
Right.
It needed basically an entire exhaust overhaul and other things for it to pass emissions. And the price tag on that after he fixed the starter turned out being close to $4,500.
Okay.
And we bought the Expedition.
Okay.
So,
all right. So it was the Expedition. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was that red shitty minivan you had. The Astro van or
that
whatever.
came later.
Okay.
That came later. No, we already had that too.
Okay.
Whatever. I forget this.
Okay.
Cars.
Right.
But either way, after Richie fixed it, it was the starter that went. And I had to spend all this money to get it fixed. Plus, it only got 6 miles a gallon. Because it was the high performance.
Fucking, what year was that?
That was 87.
Yeah, it was fucking 87. Beautiful Camaro. Yeah, makes sense.
Baby Rock. Had the 8 in it. It just wasn't worth the money.
Oh God. Oh, I would have given you $4,500 for that car. I would have done it. You didn't call me. I would have done it. Adam was like knee deep in like 17 kids at that point, and he would have found $4,500 to buy that fucking car from you. And he was like 7.
I was going to say, I don't think there was any kids in Adam's picture.
Oh, no. Adam's been having, we've talked about this extensively. Adam's been having kids since he came out of the womb. If all the females, just so you know, well, not the females, this isn't for the females in general, it's for our listeners in general. When Adam is on the podcast and we have a female guest on the podcast, we actually, Adam needs to wear 3 condoms to make sure that he doesn't impregnate anybody on the podcast. So if you are a female coming onto the podcast as a guest, even probably via satellite, be safe. We know that we outfit Adam with at least 3 condoms every time he comes on the podcast with a female guest.
Protection's important.
Protection is important. Yes, absolutely. All right. So
that's what happened to the Camaro.
So you dashed all my hopes and dreams of having a Camaro. Didn't even give me an opportunity to buy.
I did, and honestly, I kicked myself in the ass.
Yes.
There was also the fact that Brian, my stepson, he had just turned 16. He wanted to get his license, and the last thing I wanted him to be doing
was driving your Camaro.
Driving that car.
Yes, which would have been another reason for me to take it off your hands. God, all these reasons. You're burying yourself a deep grave here. It's okay, though. It's okay. Well, as long as you can admit you were wrong. Can you admit you were wrong?
I was wrong.
Okay, all right, cool. You know what? We're good. I'm settled now. I don't know if Adam is, but Adam's not here, so fuck it.
I shouldn't have given it to you or Adam. I should have just kept the fucking car.
Well, you should. No, exactly. You should have just kept the car. Absolutely. And that's what I was saying. I don't want you to say, no, I'm not selling it, and then you fucking whatever. But at any rate, yes. So there we go. The Camaro is settled. So we're not here to talk about Camaros. We're not here to talk about Canadian beer. Even we are here to talk about Rush Moving Pictures. This is Adam's pick. This is actually his 5th pick of season 2. He and I are both at 5 records of season 2, and then we have a couple listeners and a Booze and Vinyl in there. But let's get into the factoids of Rush Moving Pictures. And if there's anything you want to interject while I'm doing this, feel free. This is the 8th studio album from the Canadian rock band Rush. It was released on February 12th, 1981. It was produced by Rush and Terry Brown. Terry Brown produced a lot of Rush's early stuff, specifically from 1975 with Fly By Night until 1982 with Signals. He was the co-producer on all those albums. After that, he didn't do any other Rush, which I looked up, which I thought was pretty neat. But he worked with like some cool bands that like I was like, oh shit, I don't see the connection. But like he worked with the Voids, he worked with the Tiles and a couple other. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. But at any rate, Moving Pictures received positive reception both critically and commercially, hitting #1 in Canada and hit #3 in the US and UK. It also remains Rush's highest selling album in the US as of 2020 had sold over 5 million copies. On the 2020 Rolling Stone list of 500 greatest albums of all time, it came in at number 375. I don't know if it's been on any of the updated list, but in 2020 it was 375. Excuse me. This is what I actually found very interesting. I gotta wonder, was this as a way to cut everybody in? Because it's only 3 people in the band and not just say all the songs written by Rush. Because if people don't know or don't realize, when it comes to copyright and publishing, the only people who get paid are the people, it's music and lyrics. So it's music being the melody. Drums and drummers in general are not musicians. So period. We'll just get that out of the way.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah. Okay. so so it's melody and lyrics. Those are what are considered a song. Drums and bass are not actually considered part of a song, or rhythm guitar. So that's why sometimes you'll see bands do all songs written by, like REM, for example, all songs written by REM, and that's the whole band. What I didn't, so I wonder if this was done, I'm sure he actually did it, but I think it's interesting how they did it, that Neil Peart wrote all of the lyrics for this album, with the exception of Tom Sawyer, which he did write, but he had help from Pye Dubois, Pya Dubois. I don't know who that is. I think he was in the band with
know it from
the producer.
The name you say, yeah, but I don't know who he is.
All music is composed by Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee, except for YYZ, which is Lee and Peart, which is also an instrumental. So it is interesting.
Lee and Peart.
Yeah, Geddy Lee and Peart are apparently written by YYZ, according to the Wikipedia.
Sure, it's not Lifeson and Peart.
Nope, it said Lee and Peart.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it said. But like I said, I don't know if that was a way to do it. So you know what I mean, or if it's really just the way that it worked out. So those are the main factoids. Do you have any other, like, because you have this shit all in your head? My brother's been sitting here. He's been here for a few hours now drinking, and
yes, I have.
Has been like dropping like little bits of knowledge about Rush and this album, just like blah blah blah, and just like off the fucking top of his head. So what are any just little tidbits, like, just that are, that come to you?
So like the YYZ thing. And I don't remember whether it was even R30 or a different interview. The song, from what I understood, they were flying back to Toronto from the Permanent Waves tour.
Okay.
Tour was finally done. They're coming back to Toronto. YYZ is the airport designation for Toronto Airport.
Okay.
It was my understanding that Alex was the one who came up with the idea of the song, and then Neil interjected the original, the opening drum lick on the cymbal. That's actually derived from the Morse code,
right,
for YYZ.
Okay.
So that's why I thought it would have been Lifeson and Neil.
I'm looking up on, because I got the information off of Wikipedia. So I just did a general Google search of who, songwriting credits for YYZ. And the song YYZ by Rush was written by Geddy Lee and Neil Peart. Yep.
Okay.
Then the song's riff was inspired by the Morse code for Toronto Pearson International Airport's YYZ call sign. So yeah. Yep. So yeah. So I guess Wikipedia was right on that one there. So there you go. I taught you something today.
Okay.
Wikipedia taught us both. So, so there you go. I'm not that smart. So, okay. Why Rush? I'm going to ask you a few questions before we get into the album. Like, why Rush?
So, as you know, I started playing drums at a very young age. Uncle Jake
Uncle Jake
started me. What was I? 5? I don't even think you were born yet.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, you're like 17 years older than me. So
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you old fuck.
So I knew who Rush was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who a lot of people were. Mommy and Daddy were into music. I liked their stuff, but I like.
That's for both of them.
And I was into the prog stuff with Rush, and yes, I liked the Foreigner. I liked the pop stuff, everything under the sun. Drums I played the drums. I was just coming up. What was I? 10 years old when this out. I wasn't even 10 yet, I don't think.
Okay, yeah, it came out in 1981. So you were like 9, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. 9.
But I was
10.
already taking drum lessons and playing the drums and blah, 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 and I knew from the earlier albums, Closer to the Heart, Fly By Night, the hits, Spirit of the Radio, and this album came out.
I'm going to get into the hits in a minute too, though, so but go on.
So, and this comes back to when we lived on Conley Street. So I was already getting into music. I was getting into hockey heavily. It started in early 1980.
Okay, go on.
Ironically, a Canadian thing, but this was the U.S. I saw Miracle on Ice live.
Right.
On the Olympics,
the Russians,
blah, blah, blah. The Phillies won the World Series. The Flyers lost the Stanley Cup. I hear all this stuff. So back then, there was no cable TV.
Okay.
But you could subscribe to Prism in Philadelphia. You could subscribe to HBO. They were expensive. Mommy wanted something. She got a thing called WHT.
I was about to. Was it WHT or was it WHO?
It was WHT.
WHT. Okay, yeah, I remember this, and I remember watching Bill Cosby himself all the time. It was like constantly on.
Yeah, it didn't have a whole lot of variety. Not a lot of movies, but a lot of live stuff or live re-recordings of. A lot of them were HBO specials originally, like Bill Cosby itself was. So they would broadcast. So I sneaked down in the living room because we only had the one TV and it was the one box. So even if we had more TVs, it wouldn't matter.
Doesn't matter anyway, yeah.
So I come down in the middle of the night because I'm hungry. I get something to eat. I turn the TV on and I'm flipping through it. I turn the WHT on and I hear this noise. And it was the first time I had seen it. I doubt it was the live broadcast, HBO, I think. It was Exit Stage Left.
Okay.
And I saw live, I'd seen the pictures and live. Here's this monster drum set. And here's this guy doing shit that I said, oh my God, I want to do that. I still can't to this day,
That's debatable.
50 years later. But that's what I saw that. And I'm like, oh my, and that Rush became everything to me musically at that point. I still liked all the other stuff. I still do. Right. But that was, I wanted to be Neil Peart.
Yeah. Okay. Like you and every drummer, though. Like that's the thing. I think almost all drummers are like, I want to be Neil Peart.
I know a lot of drummers.
Okay. Yeah, so do I.
Not everybody.
A lot of them like to hang out with musicians.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of us think those musicians are assholes.
We are. We got merit badges to prove it.
You can't. Me as a drummer, granted, I would call my favorite, but I hate saying that,
right?
Because there are so many greats, and you bring it all over the place between, John Bonham was the best, Keith Moon was the best, Buddy Rich was the best, whoever.
Keith Moon was the best Keith Moon type drummer of all Keith Moon type drummers.
Each genre was different. Each band was different. Everything,
Real quick, I am switching up to the Labatt Blue Canadian Pilsner. I don't think I've had this in a very, very long time. So if I've ever had it, I may have never even had it. So
it's good.
Yeah.
First time I had it was my first trip to Canada in 1992.
Oh, that is good.
Never even heard of it before I got there. And that was actually Labatt's genuine draft.
Okay. I like it.
It was good stuff.
So I'm sorry. I digress because I got sidetracked with beer because we are a drinking podcast with the vinyl record problem.
Yeah. It's a personal. Who's the best? Who's your favorite? That's easy.
Right.
Favorite's a whole lot different than you saying the best, especially as a musician. Who's the best guitar player? Is it Eddie Van Halen? Was it Les Paul who originated it? Well, it's
Jimi Hendrix, but that's besides the point.
That's what I mean. It's there is no, it's hard to say who's the best when they're all up here.
Yeah, and it's all you know. It's all, what's the fucking word I'm looking for? It's all
relative.
No, fucking another word. I don't know. Like beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? So it's like, you know, if there's something that you think is great or wonderful, someone else doesn't. You know what I mean? Like you know, for instance, like I always try to judge guitar players by like, can I identify their sounds? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'm sure you could do that with drummers too. So like, I know Stevie Ray Vaughan's playing without hearing a song, like without hearing anything. I know his sound. I know Jimi Hendrix sound. You know, just from hearing, I'm like, oh, that's who this is. There's others who I'm like, oh wait, that's that person, you know. To an extent, Slash has a pretty, you know, even if it's like kind of like that rock sound, but it's a Les Paul and all that kind of stuff. But his sound's there. It's defined. It's defined. Yeah. You know, his
Neil
sound
was
and
very
style.
Big on that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and that is the thing with drummers is that you know, I think you have basic drummers who just keep a beat, which is fine, and they're in the pocket and it's okay, and it's just kind of boring, like whatever. And then you have like different levels. I personally, as much as I don't particularly care for drummers, I would probably put Neil Peart at like the top of like the, you know, he's definitely the first face on the Mount Rushmore of drummers, but like, you know, even if it's like, you know, debatable, like as to who's the best, I think he's up there. You know what I mean? You got him, you get like his fucking guy, Buddy Rich, guy's a guitar player, you know, and
Gene
then
Krupa, you know, and that goes back to Neil's, a lot of that, you know, I grew up, I didn't take rock lessons except for maybe a couple of years in high school. Right. I grew up jazz and classical trained. Right. The jazz, Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa, Mickey Rooker, you know, these guys just were beyond rock.
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely. Totally. So what is your favorite Rush album?
My favorite Rush album?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I know. I have them sometimes. Like last week or a couple weeks ago when I interviewed Frank Turner, I had some good questions there too. You guys should go back and check out the Frank Turner interview. It's fucking great. I did a good job.
My favorite
fanboyed out, but you know, it's Frank Turner.
That's kind of tough because I love them all.
Yeah. I know.
Spurting it out. 2112.
Okay. 2112. There you go. So, I'm not really that familiar with that. It's funny. I'm very familiar with Rush because of you, but I'm not intimate familiar with Rush. You know what I mean? I think I could have a good enough conversation with someone about Rush like we're going to do today, but overall, you know, I'm not like, you know, I am not very educated in the ways of Rush, the Canadian rock band.
Here, join Moosey.
There you go. What are your general thoughts on like moving pictures? Like, what do you got? How are your feelings?
It was personally, I thought it was an ungodly, unbelievable, brilliant album.
Okay.
But like I said, I think that about most of the Rush albums. In terms of Rush as a band, that was kind of their turning point.
Okay.
They already had some notoriety, hits, blah blah blah. But by
debatable on the hits, but go on.
But they were kind of considered like, you know, they sold out every show even before that.
Yeah,
because they were considered one of those cult followings.
Yes.
This took.
You're totally like, just so you know, all this stuff you're saying is totally giving me back up for a point that I'm going to make in a little bit, but go on.
So this kind of launched them into the mainstream, I guess is the best way to put it. Mainly because of Tom Sawyer. You know, it was a radio hit. Most of their songs weren't radio hit worthy.
Thank you. This is so nice coming from a drummer too, and like a true Rush fan, because I know you are a true Rush fan.
And it took them from, you know, particularly Rush fans considered them one of the most underrated band and most underrated musicians in the world. Well, this started to elevate that, where the rest of the world said, oh shit, these guys are fucking good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So overall, I like this album. Musically, it's absolutely fucking amazing. And when you have 3 people. That's the amazing thing about this band is like, you know, when we did the Fun episode a few weeks ago, that's like 3 people, right? But that shit just sucks, and it's like so much overdub and this, that, and the other thing, and overtracks and you know, adding this and adding that and all that stuff to do this stupid fucking pop album that's worth stupid money for no fucking good reason besides the fact that Jack Antonoff works with fucking Taylor Swift. It's like, yeah, musically it's okay, but it's like you have to do all this stuff. Whereas you go to Rush, these 3 guys, which yes, I'm sure there is studio magic with the Rush album,
without question,
because in the studio you want to get it done. But you put those 3 motherfuckers on stage, and every single thing you hear on the fucking album is being played live. Am I right? I've never seen them. I'm going based on videos I've seen and stuff like that.
Getty is the master of all that, basically, because this was starting, you know, once they got the signals, it was super heavy keyboard.
Right.
And they had keyboards a little bit in the early. This was a lot of heavy keyboard, but at the same time, you have that bass too.
Yes, and
so what he did, and he had that keyboard master. Well, when he was doing that, he was playing a bass with his feet on a Taurus pedals.
Yep.
When he had a super complicated, and this was long before, you know, even my rolling pad now, where I can do whatever the hell I want on it. You know, he had those keyboard parts pedals, transposed, and he was playing a separate set of Taurus pedals to me. So what you heard on stage, there was no overdubs. There was not overdubs. You know, backtracks.
There were no backing tracks.
You know, you didn't hear that till Roll the Bones when they had that whole "Get Back, Jack." Listen, that was it. You know, the one song he really, and then eventually with what's her face. I don't know.
Yep. I couldn't.
I can't remember her name.
All right.
Either way, you know, so she didn't tour with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Time Stands Still. Time. It was Amy Mann.
Amy Mann. Okay.
Yes.
Mann,
so yeah, they they backtracked that vocal, but everything that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and it is amazing. And when you're in, specifically, you know, you're talking about Geddy Lee, bass players in general, like they you know, we've talked about how bass players have become a meme, and they're kind of in the background, and some of them matter and some of them don't. Like, you have him doing these amazing fucking bass lines and singing a completely separate vocal line. There's not many people who can do that. Just like the only 3 that I can think of off the top of my hand who can play amazing bass, sing and you know, and perform all at the same time, like sing lead, would be, you know, Geddy Lee, Sting, and Les Claypool from Primus. Like, those are, you know what I mean? Because even if you listen to a lot of the Police stuff, there's some intricate fucking bass lines going on while, you know, Sting is holding that bass line and playing those out and singing a completely different melody line.
The only other person I can throw in there is Jack Bruce.
Jack Bruce from Cream. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right.
Because between Ginger Baker, Clapton, and Jack Bruce, obviously the power trio.
Okay.
You know, that was a lot. Not on his bass was not nearly as intricate as either of any of those people that you mentioned.
Right.
But it was the same realm of he's playing a bass line that's off time from you know, it's the vocal part completely.
Yeah, and another guy I would probably throw in there would be Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, who also kind of kept that band together while the guitars kind of just did their thing, but he definitely filled it out, especially when you get the Thin Lizzy and they're doing their fucking double solos and harmonies, and he's just fucking keeping it together and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you know, but it's a short list, you know what I mean? Even when you take, like, you know, in my opinion, one of the all-time great bass players, probably he would definitely be on my Mount Rushmore bass players, would be John Entwistle, but he sang backup in like 2 songs.
No, he sang a lot of backup. Yeah, he sang the lead on 2 songs.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Though. But like, that's what he did. He wasn't the face of the band, singing all the stuff, doing all the lead. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That is the amazing thing about Geddy Lee. And then the Alex Lifeson, the guitar player, does like all this like crazy fucking prog shit, and it's, you know, sounds good. He doesn't sing it all though, right? Okay, and then you have Neil Peart, who's just, you know, what do you say about Neil Peart? So, and the musicianship is just absolutely amazing, and the songs are just fucking so well written. But I will just say that Rush in general, in my opinion, is basically jazz for white dudes who like hockey. Exactly. For the listening audience, my brother shot his hand straight up there. So, it's overall too. And again, I overall, I do like this album, but I kind of found it a little boring and kind of leaves you like, wait, what? This is it? This is all you got for me? It's only 7 tracks. And it's just like, it's, side B, like, could just go away, in my opinion. Once you get to the second side of the album, just forget about it. You don't even need it.
Being a Rush fan and the musicianship and the sequencing and the lyrics on side B I love it.
I can appreciate the musicianship, but it's just like it, and again, and it's because it's only 7 songs, and when you get to song fucking 5 is 11 minutes long. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, oh god, what the fuck? Just is this still gone? Is this still happening? Are these guys still playing? Because it's that prog rock stuff, and I'm not generally a prog rock fan, because in my opinion, frog rock. I got a Frog and Toad or Friends t-shirt on, in case you can't tell. But no,
I got a Rush t-shirt.
There you go. You do. Prog rock to me in general is basically the formula of prog rock is like scale on a harmony, some crazy drums, a little bit of vocal effects, throw in some keyboards, scale, bridge, repeat. That's basically prog rock for you. And you do it for 20 minutes and there you go. And then you're King Crimson. And you sit there, you're sitting there thinking about it. You're like, God damn, you're not wrong. Because I'm not. You fucking know I'm not. If you're not watching, you should see my brother's face right now. He's like, what the fuck, dude? What?
Bill Levin from King Crimson is going to come with his face fingers and go like that, all just like Freddy Krueger, all over your face.
But am I wrong?
And no. But they can count to more than 4 too.
Well, I know, but it's not necessary. I've talked about this on the podcast before. Why do you need something to go into a 7/4 measure? Why do you need to play anything in 12/8? You know what I mean? It's not necessary. None of it's necessary. Just play it in 4/4. Fucking rock and roll, man.
It sounds good.
No, it doesn't. It's not. Oh man, but yeah, no. So that's and I think that's like I said, I am coming from a place of like I'm not big on prog rock. I like Owner of the Lonely Hearts by Yes. I don't want to hear Fragile. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit that like when you get into that like
even like, at that now if you listen to Owner of a Lonely Heart,
it's got some prog stuff in it.
Every
Absolutely.
break, every bridge goes off time, and another great prog,
but it's
drummer,
done well.
Alan White.
Alan White. There you go.
Hey, wait a minute. We forgot Neil.
Oh no, we're getting there, but we can do Neil. We can do Neil multiple times. Mm-hmm. Okay, but no, and that's there is prog stuff, but like when it comes to prog, it's like fucking you put King Crimson, you put fucking you put Rush, Yes, old Yes, really old Pink Floyd, which is definitely prog before they like kind of like what I feel is that they found their voice. Even the Moody Blues, you take that old Moody Blues shit, and you just kind of you can just throw it all together and be like, yeah, that's just fucking trash can full of fucking sounds. You know what I mean? It just doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't excite me. And again, it's just jazz for white dudes who like hockey.
I mean, I know you're either listening or watching, so it's only visual or sound, but if you could smell the shit that's coming out of his mouth in this room.
I'm just saying, man. It's I'm sure they can hear it. It's just like like I don't know. Defend prog rock for me. Like what's the amazingness of prog rock?
Part of it is it's never the same.
Okay, either is jazz.
Exactly.
Well, I don't really like jazz either.
Oh, I do.
And I don't want to listen to it all the time.
Jazz is more straightforward than the quote-unquote prog rock.
I think it depends on which jazz. If you're going to get into some like avant-garde bullshit, none of like that fucking Chick Corea shit, Chick Corea, thank you. You get into that shit, like stuff's all over the fucking board. And then there's another one, can't fucking remember his name. And I only know this because and this is what I got to remind our listeners and our watchers, our people watching. I have very strong opinions on music, and I don't think I'm necessarily always right. They're my opinions, and opinions aren't always right, but I have actually taken the time to listen to this shit. I'm not just like fucking throwing it out there like, fuck you, I don't like that because of whatever, you know what I mean? Like I do actually take the time to listen to this stuff and form my shitty opinion as it may be.
He had no choice but to listen to Rush because
exactly.
I put it on, I turned it up, and he wasn't allowed to touch it.
No, I wasn't. But that's the thing. No, I wasn't allowed to touch your Rush albums. I wasn't allowed to touch your fucking drums.
Until you did.
Until we did. Which we totally did way more than you actually caught us. So just so you know, as many times as you caught us, like take that by like 10, and like, you know, like that's probably about how many times we would touch your drums when you weren't up. Sometimes I would just go down and like fucking like grab a stick and go across your wind chimes just so I could just like,
they died.
They did. I never put my nutsack on your drum set though. So that never happened. No, and it just, I don't know, prog rock, it just like I said, it just doesn't do anything for me. And you know, but either there's a lot of jazz. The only jazz where I could sit there and consistently say like I'm gonna fucking listen to this is probably Miles Davis.
Oh,
but he's a whole fucking different level.
He is.
The other jazz that I do like is actually the vocal jazz. So like a lot of Count Basie stuff I do like when you get into especially the female vocals, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, fucking that's the stuff that I'm like that's the jazz that I'm most drawn to. But I almost feel that's almost like pop jazz to an extent. Yeah. You know, but that's okay. Like that, but that's the stuff. Miles Davis, as far as the instrumental stuff, and the other stuff would be more of the vocal stuff that Count Basie did. Yeah. I know that a lot of people consider him. I think he's a different character who veered into jazz, but I don't consider Frank Sinatra to be a jazz singer. He's Sinatra. Yeah. He veers into jazz. Yeah. He definitely is. Obviously, he's worked with Count Basie. He's worked with Quincy Jones.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
And because he was him,
yes,
he got to work with and commission some of the best musicians on the face of the earth at the time.
Yes,
without question.
Absolutely. But I always feel as if like Sinatra's kind of a different animal, so to speak. It veers in. It's definitely influenced there, but I don't consider Sinatra full-fledged jazz. It's, you know, it's just different. The stuff that he did with it is just different. Even from the vocal stuff of like, you know, the people I mentioned, Basie, Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, that stuff, Louis Armstrong, you know what I mean? That stuff is, you know, Sinatra's derived from that, but it's not the same as that.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I don't even know what you would class. You know,
Sinatra?
Yeah.
He's a crooner. He's a crooner, but he's not like a crooner in the classical sense. He's definitely an innovator.
Right, that's what I mean. It's a different
yes.
You're right. It's kind of, and a vein on it in its own.
Yes.
You know, there was a couple of them, not very many.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Bennett was in that class. Yeah, but it's to say
Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, all the other people we just mentioned, too many. So
but, you know, and they had the vocal ability, you know, and they had that, but that musicianship was behind them.
Yes.
That was ungodly. People didn't realize because Frank Sinatra, you know, Blue Eyes is on stage.
Yep.
Nobody gave a shit who was playing that massive keyboard part and that piano solo between the bridges, you know, but they were all top notch.
They were. And it was amazing. And yes, prog rock is basically, you know, white man jazz that turned into rock music that became acceptable because white men were playing it. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of the same formulas with it. And it's, you know, like I said, it's just not really my thing. I did like, you know, like I said, like if you would put on like Rush and, you know, you would play like Fly By Night. Like I know it, like it's cool. Like, all right, I'll like that. There's like other songs where like I know I might not know the names of them, but you know, other than Tom Sawyer as well. That like I'm like, okay, cool, like that's a cool song, but overall, like when you get into like, and it's not even like deep tracks of fucking Rush, it's just beyond like a more popular Rush. I you know, it's just kind of like, oh, it all fucking sounds the same in my opinion. So just you know, that's
opinions
just,
are opinions.
They are So as you had mentioned, excuse me, we got to raise a big one here. We're raising a lot of glasses. Neil Peart. Is Neil Peart, absolutely.
My musical hero.
I've said this on past episodes as recently as the I believe the Circus Survive episode, Whereas like, we know I'm not a big fan of drums and drummers in general. But certain drummers do, exceed that, level of they become musicians. They become musicians. They become songwriters. They become melody makers through the drums. There's not a lot of them. Like I said, I recently mentioned it, the drummer of Circa Survive on the Blue Sky Noise episode. I did mention that he played the drums very melodically. Neil Peart that was an orchestra.
Yes.
Behind the kit. You know what I mean? And that is the thing. And
it was just as much melody as it was rhythm.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And harmony.
Uh-huh.
He was hitting the high pitch when Alex was the third up on the the guitar. I honestly don't even think they planned it. They just did it.
They just which is amazing. which is amazing that they could do that, and they pulled that off. And that's to the musicianship and the greatness of the musicianship of Rush. But I mean, and then to find out that he wrote all the lyrics for this album for Moving Pictures.
He wrote all the lyrics for all the songs.
Did he? Okay, that I didn't know. I just knew that album. Yes. But that is another level of like musicianship there, and I just, like I said,
this is from interviews that I've seen with him.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't consider, or didn't anyway, whatever, the writing the lyrics part so much a musician part. He considered himself a scholar, a learner, a conveyor of stories.
Yes.
And he wrote, songs after books.
Yeah.
There's many cases through actual Rush songs you could. And he said, yeah, this was based on this book or that, and, or life experience, whatever the case may be.
Right.
He didn't look at the lyric part of it necessarily as a musical part of it. It was a storytelling part of it.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very, very folk singer type of shit. You know what I mean? It's when you're looking at it that way, because it's like, we talk about that with like folk singers, how a lot of stuff like, they're not necessarily about the music, and it's about the story. Whereas he was very much obviously about both. He wanted to tell a story and then made it fucking beautifully musical.
Yeah.
Through drums. He did it through drums. It was like, holy shit. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, there's another thing. You hear, whether you like Geddy Lee or not, he obviously has one of the most unique voices ever.
He does. And he is
whether it's rock, prog rock, jazz, but this man was not only doing all this prog crap, he's singing these words that he didn't write.
Exactly. That is the thing that surprised me too, because of how well he does it and how meaningfully he sings the stuff. And that's the thing you mentioned about the unique voice. I'm going to piss people off again. We had talked about on the Buckingham Nicks episode about how I said that Stevie Nicks has a unique voice. She's a good singer, but she's not one of the all-time great singers. Geddy Lee has a unique voice. And has range and has emotion and has the whole thing. And he's playing bass on top of that. And he's playing keyboards.
Or both at the same time while he's singing the part.
Right. So that, you know what I mean? Like that is like, that is an example of someone with a unique voice that also has a great voice and it is amazing musicianship. So like that's, when you look at that all together, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And with the lyric part of it too, a lot of the folk singers, they're kind of lyrically, they're kind of straightforward on their lyrics.
Yes.
They're telling stories, but this is what I mean.
Yes.
Neil threw that innuendo. I'm going to make you think, what do I mean by this? Yes. Some things were a little more poignant. You get the Manhattan Project and whatnot. Obviously, it's about the atomic bomb and all that shit, but then you get into other things like side B of this album, Witch Hunt. It's got nothing to do with the Salem witches. It's about society as a general statement. You got to hear, actually listen to what the lyrics are saying. It's kind of, like I said, innuendo. It's not at your face. It's a Cosby, Stills, and Nash. They were bang.
Yes.
This is what we mean. And this is what we're saying. He kind of just didn't go that.
It's funny because you say that, and I'm just going to say it's like what you say about my company is what you say about society. Do you catch my drift?
I do.
You catch my drift?
I catch your drift.
Catch the feeling?
Catch the feeling.
Catch the drift. See what I did there? All right, so
but wrong songs.
No, that's good. It's good. Neil Peart, though, one of like obviously like one of the all-time great musicians, great drummers, definitely.
Yeah, Tom Sawyer had nothing to do with the book. Sawyer,
absolutely. But I'm gonna get into that too. So. Here's the great thing about it. I saw an interview recently. I was watching an interview of Neil Peart talking about how hard he works to rehearse stuff and how he's constantly working it and going back to rudiments and going back to his basics to do the stuff that he does. He's got to be able to like be very strong fundamentally to be able to do those like fucking 78th notes out of triplets or whatever the fuck he's doing there. But like in like, 9/2 time or whatever. But like, it's just like, it was amazing like watching him like talk about it and kind of like almost be down on himself. And I thought I actually started thinking about like this is one of the greatest drummers to ever live, one of the greatest musicians to ever live. And as great as
say that one more time. That second part.
One of the greatest musicians. I said but
one more time.
Neil Peart is a musician, one of the greatest musicians to ever live. As great as he is, think about how fucking cool this is for Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. They actually got and I wish I could sit down with them and be like, so can you tell me about the time where Neil sucked? And they probably can. Like think about that. Like where he's like fucking up in a rehearsal or like he was off at a show or like he went off time and you got to turn around and go, hey, Neil, you gotta fucking pull your shit together there. You're a little off there. You know what I mean? Like think about how fucking cool that is that they got to like sit there and like with him in rehearsals. And we get to see him trying to work things out and get frustrated while working them out or like in a recording or whatever, or like when you have to do multiple takes over and over again. Like how fucking cool is that actually? Like not to say I want to see fucking Neil Peart like fuck up, but like to be able to sit there and say like, oh yeah, no, he's as great as he is, he was also still human. You know what I mean? So unless he wasn't, which is probably maybe that's true too. Yeah. So,
but even with that, when Tom Sawyer in particular, and he has said this because I've seen interviews with him. Obviously you play Tom Sawyer every tour, every show. Do you get bored with it? And he said, "How can I get bored with it? It's the most difficult drum song that I've ever written for myself. I have to work my ass off every time that song comes up in the set list."
Yep. I need another beer. Do you need another beer?
I will soon enough. I'll take a Labatt's. Let's switch it up.
I'm going with the Molson Golden. I'll give you the Labatt's. Canadian stuff. All right. So now, and it's great that we're doing this here because Friday night I was drinking a whole lot with three of my bandmates and my one bandmate's wife.
I'm sure that was a whole lot of more Irish beer than Canadian beer.
Oh, it was all like Guinness and I think there were a couple like IPAs because
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but. so we were Birmingham 6 played the Irish Fall Festival down in Wildwood and we didn't have any shows Friday night, so James, our bass player, went home. But me, Barry, and Brian and Barry's wife, we met together. We were seeing some of actually our friend of the podcast, Bogside Rogues, Bob Hurst. His band was playing, so we went over to see those guys that we were drinking, and I was telling them about how we're getting ready to do this the podcast here, and I was like, so they're all like they are Rush fans, they are prog rock fans. My band, like sometimes I'm like I don't know why these guys play with me because like musically it's like we're on different like planes of like they like this and I like that, but somehow it meshes really well. Although James admitted that I am his God the other day, so we got that going for us.
No, he did.
He did. I have it on text. I have it in text message. I said to James.
Oh, that was after the Guinness. I get it.
No. James wasn't there. James was dead sober. I will go on to our group text. It's called Birmingham Sucks, SUX. That's our band group text. And Saturday morning, I was maybe feeling my Friday night beers a whole lot, and. We're supposed to go on at 2:20, and I text the guys at 1:56. I said, "Can you guys do this without me?" ? to which James replied, "Unfortunately, you're our leader and God, so no." So there you go. So I did play the show on Saturday.
Talk to James about
that. You had to talk to James about that. But I brought up Friday night, a very controversial thing with them, especially. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give some caveats to this. Okay. That if you ask a drummer or a musician, especially a musician who's more into like rock and prog rock and stuff like this, they will not agree with this statement. Some of the things you said, though, I think might actually lead to my argument, help me with my arguments, some stuff you said early on. In my opinion, Rush is a one-hit wonder. And that one hit is Tom Sawyer. Yes. Okay, thank you. Because my whole point behind that, and people drop in the comments if you think I'm an asshole for saying that, or if you could sit there and name a whole shit ton of hits. You know, there's not really a shit ton of hits to this. Like I think even Tom Sawyer,
never
I think it hit top 40. Yeah. It never hit number one. It did. Yeah. It did make it to top 40 on the Billboard. Yeah. They've had a couple other things that maybe hit like Billboard 200, but not really. They not really. And you know, so my argument to it is
nothing previous to this album.
Exactly. That's why I think like Tom's like, and it's not to take away from the greatness of Rush by calling him a one-hit wonder. But if you ask any like lay person, any like non-musicians, like, hey, can you name me, you know, a Rush song? They'll probably name it Tom Sawyer. It's like, cool. Awesome. Good song. Can you name me another Rush song? And they're going to go, no. You know what I mean? Or, well, there's that one. Wait, huh? Is it,
yes.
No. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably what's going to happen. You ask a musician, you ask specifically a drummer, and they'll go down the list of this and this and that. And I mean, even I know there's more than one great Rush song. You know what I mean? But when you look at, like, and this is part to my argument, you know the band Big Country, right? Can you tell me a Big Country song?
I can't tell you a single one.
In the Big Country. You would know that one. In a Big Country.
But I didn't know that was the name of the song.
That's the name of the song too. And you were a DJ. So could you tell me
that came out before I was DJing?
No, well, still. But can you tell me another Big Country song?
I could not.
You could not, because Big Country only had that one song here in the United States. However, they have sold millions of records worldwide, and you go anywhere else in the fucking world, Big Country is fucking huge. They're a big fucking country. But in the U.S., they're a one-hit wonder. You know what I mean? And it's the truth. So that's what I'm saying. And we don't have Adam here to argue with us. So fuck you, Adam. So even if you disagree, you don't get to disagree because you're not here, motherfucker. But yes,
he missed good dinner.
He missed a good
Canadian
dinner.
Beer.
Yep. What a fucking dig. Oh, I gotta go to work. I got called into work. My name's Adam. At any rate, yes. So in my opinion, Rush is a one-hit wonder. If you disagree with that, please drop it in the comments on Spotify and YouTube. And I do actually reply to your comments. So if you go and look through our past episodes where people have commented, I'm the one who's responding. So drop a comment. And if you agree, you saw that too,
speakers.
Right? Yeah, they are your speakers. Yeah. So.
Speaking of DJing,
yes, absolutely, they are your speakers that we use in Birmingham 6. So you have seen Rush live how many times?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Do you want me to actually try and count?
No. I mean, would you say more than 5?
Oh yeah,
more than 10.
More than 20.
More than 20 times you've seen Rush. Okay, that's pretty impressive. So that is one of the things that like I said, I've never been a huge Rush fan. I've never been like whatever. If like anybody ever said like, do you like Rush? I'm like, I like Moving Pictures, which now I kind of like, kind of like the first half of Moving Pictures. The second half, so boring.
Yeah, I would put in the 25 to 30 neighborhood. Because remember, particularly when I was younger, I lived at the Spectrum.
Yes.
I was either at a concert or a Flyers game.
Right.
So when Rush was in town, Rush didn't ever played one night,
right? Because
they sold out. So if Rush was in town for 2 nights, I was there both nights. If they were there for 3 nights, I was there all 3 nights.
Okay.
Whatever the case may
be. Right.
I saw them in other venues, believe it or not.
Okay.
Not overly far. The furthest is the Igloo.
Okay.
I saw them in Pittsburgh at the Civic Arena, and that worked out great because I wound up getting to see Flyers Pens game 2 nights later.
There you go.
This is before Pussy Boy was there, and we actually didn't mind the Penguins because Mario and Yager were great. I saw them at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
And where was the place? I forget what it was called. In I guess it's in Baltimore, but Washington.
Okay. Continental.
I don't.
But this Continental Air Arena
It
now,
might be
but
now.
it was probably something
Whatever,
else. Then,
where Capitals play.
Yeah,
I saw them down. Like I said, I didn't go. I never saw them in Canada. Or anything, but yeah, I've seen them.
Okay, so you've seen them probably. Would you say you've probably seen them the most out of any band?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, cool.
You got Rush. Then Yes is probably in the little over 20 range.
Okay.
Styx is coming up on 20.
Okay.
And after that, I really have to think hard. Nobody else, even the over 10 neighborhood, other than those 3 bands.
Okay, cool. No, that's so. Okay, so what? So, do you have a particular Rush concert that stands out to you as like being your favorite concert?
Yes, but I don't remember what exactly.
Okay, but there was a concert where you're like, this is the best one I'd ever seen them live.
Yes.
Okay,
and it was a visual.
It was a visual. Okay. Were you on acid?
No.
Okay. All right. So what was the visual? Because that is the thing that I remember you talking about as a kid, because I do remember you going to the Rush concerts, is the laser light shows and just the fucking 3 of them and just the sound,
So this particular, like I said, I don't remember what tour it was.
Mm-hmm. I think I know where you're going with this, but go on.
I got tickets later than I normally, normally I want it to be at the Spectrum. Section S is the premium, you're right on the side of the stage. You can see everything. Well, I got tickets late. So we were in the top row of the second level at the Spectrum, which compared to the new arena is actually not that high, but dead center.
Yeah.
And they started the show, the whole Three Stooges thing comes up, and they open a show. It was Big Money Tour.
Okay.
And the lasers came, and we were sitting dead center, and it was like, oh my God. Just they choreographed the lights from the center of the stage. It just kind of blew me away.
Nice. Nice.
The music was there, obviously, because they don't waver live,
right?
Ever. Every once in a while, you'll see a drop pick or a drop stick or shit like that. No timing off or just the regular crap that happens on a regular. Yeah. But other than that, they were always impeccable live. Mm-hmm. And even a lot of people, I've heard criticism from Russian. Well, if I wanted to listen to the album, I just put the damn album on. But if you know the songs, they actually do vary some stuff when they play live, But I've heard criticism about Rush, that being the criticism playing live.
Yeah, but okay, but and here's the thing, and I get that, and I understand why you go like, well, I want to hear some variant of the thing, but when you have bands that do too much of a variant from what they're doing, and plus, I'm more impressed by the fact that everything that they're doing on the album, that they are able to do live, and that they do it live. Like, I'm sure they had little variants that are like, hey, I'm going to do this a little differently tonight. Plus, when you're talking about that type of music, it's you got to be so fucking precise. Intricate. And exactly. You don't sit there and go to an orchestra and see them play Beethoven's Fifth and go, if I really wanted to hear the fucking album, I'd put on fucking Beethoven's Fifth. You know what I mean? Right. You don't want them to verify. You know what I mean? You want to fucking see what it is. I think Rush's music and their live sound in general, I think it's on that same level of like, hey, we're so intricate. We have so much going on this is what you want.
If they're doing what is in theory what a tour is to support your latest album, blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah, and with them, you can't be a jam band.
Yes. With
that kind of but they did on occasion.
Okay.
Want to jam, but they actually didn't play Rush songs.
Okay.
That's when they did Summertime Blues, and they would jam on cover songs. That they put on a cover album.
Okay. Nice.
And it was stuff that they loved growing up predominantly, and they did that on tour. That's when you got the jam band part of Rush.
Okay.
You were never going to hear Rush jamming out, doing something different in the middle of Xanadu.
Right. Exactly. That was the Bee Gees, right? The Bee Gees, Xanadu, Olivia Newton-John, Xanadu. Was that Jeff Lynne?
That was Rush's song, Xanadu.
No, it's cool. So what's also one of the cool things that I found about Rush is when you see like things, especially now on like TikTok or Instagram Reels and stuff like that. Rush always seems to have a really good sense of humor. You see these like reels. One that recently came up was like was Paul Rudd, and I think it was like kind of a thing with like a Jimmy Fallon thing where I guess Rush was going to be the guest, and like Paul Rudd's in their dressing room. And they walk in, and it's Rush. It's the three of them, and you have Paul Rudd like, "Oh man, you guys are great. I like how you say Tom Sawyer." And they're like, and Geddy Lee's like, "I don't say that." He's like, "No, Tom Sawyer." You know, they're like, what? And he's like, "Yeah, no, we don't." And another example that was, and I absolutely would have actually loved to have seen this was there's a video that goes around every now and then, and it's South Park. You know, the guys for South Park are huge Rush fans in general too. Very, very musical fans in general. So there's this scene where basically the South Park kids try to basically make a Rush cover band, right? And so you have like, then the whole video is like, you know, they start playing Tom Sawyer, and you have like Cartman like, you know, "My name's Tom Sawyer, and I took a boat with a black guy and rode down." Heard it. Right? It's all this kind of stuff, yeah. And like Kyle's like, "That's not what it's about. What the fuck? You know, come on, Cartman." And they're like, "Wait, what? Okay, all right, listen, let's start it again. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, boom!" And then the band comes on. Like it was like they had it in a concert, so they had it like the fucking video on. They're like, "All right, come on, let's do this. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4," and then Rush goes right into the fucking beginning of Tom Sawyer, and it's great. Like I think it's great when people can take their art seriously, but also have a sense of humor about their art and what they do. And it's you know what I mean? So that's really cool.
They goofed around a lot on stage amongst themselves.
Okay.
They like to have a good time. Even Neil, I mean, he definitely, of the three of them, looked the most, "Don't fuck with me. I got shit to do." You know, but at the same time, he would, I mean, come on, you go to the guys, the road crew comes up because Geddy's bass cabs are dryers. And they come up and have to put quarters in the thing to keep them spinning. I mean, it's a pun, it's a joke, but you know, that's pretty good. It's all because they like to fuck around,
right? They like to have fun.
They start with the Three Stooges theme to open every show. They used to, you know. Well, the Three Stooges, you know.
There you go. Okay, cool. Very good. Now, like I said, overall, I do like Rush overall. I know I've just talked a lot of shit on prog rock and, you know, some of the stuff there. But I do like Rush overall. I do like this album. Like I said, I just think side 2 is a bit boring. I think it leaves you wanting more, but not in a good way. You know, but you know, overall, you know, it's all right. Like, what overall final thoughts on the album?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 2112, I would think, because I liked them all.
Okay.
I mean, even up until the end, Clockwork Angel, you know, all that, and everything in between. A lot of people, well, once they introduced synthesizer and signal, you know, but
they always had synthesizers.
But it got real heavy.
Okay, all right.
I'm like, all right, well, did you listen to the other shit that was going on? You know,
whatever. I would think if they got more synthesizer heavy as time went on, it's almost logical. Just because, you know, your music's supposed to evolve. You can't sit there and make the same album over and over and over again. Otherwise, you're Creed. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to evolve as a musician and have longevity, then you know, you evolve and you change your sound and you do some different stuff. So,
at least try to.
Exactly. So if you're going to tell me like that you know, at some point they, you know, singles, I guess, got synthesizer heavy. Have you listened to the song Tom Sawyer? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Like, and that was what, 1981, and singles came out in the 90s?
That was their next album.
Oh, that was their next album. Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
Like I said, this is like old time Rush fans. Yeah, I love them all.
This is probably also the same people who, like, it's funny because Frank Turner mentioned it in the Frank Turner interview from England Keep My Bones, the interview from a couple episodes ago, where he said it's like the old guys with their leather jackets who stand in the back of the room with their arms crossed and go, "Fucking music's not the same as it used to be." You know what I mean? And that's
when
probably
they're playing the same fucking song.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's probably, you know, that's probably.
I don't subscribe to that.
No, neither do I. I think music keeps evolving and it's beautiful and it should.
Like I said, from 2112, I guess I would call it a close second with Hemispheres.
Okay. All right.
And Hemispheres is one of those ones that's kind of oddball.
That's Hemispheres, right? I have the picture up there behind the proctologist side.
No,
what's that one?
That's
Starman.
What? Yeah, that's just their
David
logo.
Bowie's Starman. No, that's just their logo. I thought that was on an album cover though. Yeah, that. Yeah, that's just their
no,
logo.
No, that's 2112.
Okay, there you go. There you go. See,
no, Hemispheres is the guy on the brain.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. There you go.
And that's got there was huge instrumental. That that was not a critical acclaim. There was the great songs as far as I'm concerned on there. Nothing that most mainstream. Maybe one song I can't even remember what they would have been.
Okay, because they're a one-hit wonder. That's why. Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Spirit of Radio.
Okay,
give them 2 on that one.
Give them
Spirit
2.
of Radio, even closer to the heart, did better. Well, financially, but people hear Spirit of the Radio and they kind of know what it is.
Even the Thompson twins have Hold Me Now and Doctor Doctor, but they're still considered a one-hit wonder. So
they got a whole lot more than that.
Well, they're still considered a one-hit wonder. But hence my point with Rush. They have a whole lot more than that, but they're a one-hit wonder. So we know Adam likes this album since he picked it. I'm assuming, although he's picked albums that he doesn't actually like, so it's hard to say if he really likes it or not.
That stupid White Stripes album.
He did pick that, but no, he actually likes that one.
Really?
But it's funny because in season 1 he picked Willie Nelson's Stardust.
My brother's that much of an asshole. More than you?
I know.
See, you notice Adam doesn't show up when I'm here.
Exactly. It's a season 2 thing. Season 1's a better season. Let's just put it out there. There you go. Kylie, Zach, Adam, fucking eat it. But at any rate, so we're assuming he likes this album because he did pick it. He might have also picked it just to get you on here. I'm not gonna lie. It might have been his reason to pick it.
Could have been.
We know you like the album.
Adam wanted to be a drummer.
He wanted to be a drummer. Yes,
he tried. Not really hard, but he did try.
No, that's right.
I have his drums in my garage.
He was too busy fucking girls and getting them pregnant when he was like 7 years old. Where you were learning how to play fucking, like fucking the what are the little drums called? The 3 you had that were off to the side.
Concert toms.
Concert toms. Yeah, he was playing concert. You were playing the concert toms, and he's out there like impregnating girls.
I didn't think about what the hell you were talking.
Yeah, right. But you knew though when I said yeah.
It took me a minute though.
So I'm overall I like the album, but none of our opinions matter. We're just fucking peons to that beautiful angel who gave you and my wife a kiss goodnight, but not me a kiss goodnight. My daughter Regina. And I can tell you on the Regina factor. First, I'm going to tell you what the result was, and then I'm going to tell you how I know. And it was actually a really cool moment that happened. She likes the album. Regina definitely likes this album, so this does go down as a like. So that is Adam at 4 likes, 1 dislike. I have 3 likes, 1 dislike, and an indifferent. Tom still only has 1 album, and that's a like, and the listeners have 1 of each, a like, dislike, and an indifferent. But here's what happened on this album. So we got in the car to go to the store, so I forget where we were going, and we hadn't even left the driveway yet. And I put it on, and Tom Sawyer goes on. And it starts and she just looks up and goes, whoa. And it was like the coolest thing in the world because I'm like, oh wow, that was a true reaction to this, and she really did. And Kristen last week talked about how she, there is a difference in Regina when we're putting the music on. Like she is intently listening to this, but yeah, she was just like, and it came on and she just looked up and went, whoa. Like it was like, oh, okay. And then, consider, as it was going on, was making other noises, joyful noises and sounds and whatnot. But it was just that initial, like, whoa, when she heard it, like her mind was blown by that. And it's one of those iconic openings to a song that as soon as you hear that beginning, what it is.
Greatness is coming.
It is. It is. It absolutely is. I don't disagree with it. And it's definitely one of those things where it's like very anticipated. Like when you just hear this, like, oh, there it is.
That's what resonates with me. Like I said, that interview with Neil when he asked, is mundane playing Tom Sawyer. No, I have to work my ass off when every time we have to play that song.
And then like even as much as I fucking hate Led Zeppelin, once I hear the hi-hats, I'm fucking all about rock and roll.
No, it's the
whatever it is, the beginning, the fucking just as soon as I hear the beginning of rock and roll, I'm like, fuck yeah, rock and roll's coming.
Oh, right, the song
rock and roll.
Oh.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. As soon as I hear those, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it right there. And that's
I thought you meant John Bonham in general.
No,
that's all about the foot.
Yeah, fuck him. But John Bonham, whatever John Bonham, but like. But that's the thing. As much as I don't like Led Zeppelin, I hear that beginning of that song, and I'm fucking hooked. Regina heard the beginning of this and she was in, she was hooked. So that was, that was really cool to see my almost 2-year-old have that reaction to it. So this might be hard for you, and you don't have to fall into format, but what are your top 3 songs?
Really?
On this album?
Yeah, I know. Like, sometimes I got to remember what's on the album too, because they all blend together for me. Holy fuck! Really?
Yep. You got to think. Yeah. I mean, actually, you knew you were coming on. You should have thought about this. Donna was right. You should have. Taken notes.
But it's like I said, this is because it's Rush. It's a hard thing. Like you say, side B, blow it away. Then, all right, so I'm gonna.
You don't have to blow away side B. It's fine.
I'm not gonna blow away side B.
All right.
So I would have to say, and this is actually coming because they're all my favorites from a musical standpoint.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to throw. How's that sound?
So not from a drummer standpoint.
Yes, from a musical standpoint.
Okay.
YYZ.
Okay.
Witch Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Red Barchetta.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So Adam, even though he's not here, I did tell Adam, like, hey man, text me your top 3. So I do have Adam's top 3. So I'm gonna read those here. YYZ, because that was his first cognizant exposure to Rush via Guitar Hero. Limelight, classic, and love the use of it in the movie I Love You Man. I don't know what that is. And then, I mean, he is on a movie podcast as well. Summer Movie Club. Go look him up. Summer Movie Club with Adam and our other brother, Zach. It's a season 2 thing. They only had me on once and I took over, and they won't have me back, but that's fine. They're not dickheads. Yes, they are. And then his number 3 favorite song is, Vital Signs. And he said, just a fun song.
It is. Yeah. Vital Signs is a very fun song. Last song side too.
Okay. So do you have a least favorite song? No. You don't have a least favorite song. That's fair. I've had albums where it's like, no, I don't have a least favorite, or you're picking the least favorite because it's like, man, if I'm picking something, I guess it's
I cannot pick a least favorite on that album. It was hard enough picking the 3 favorite.
Okay, so me and Adam both have bottom songs, and they are the same song. I am going to read Adam's first. Well, I'll read both, like, our songs first, but I'm going to give Adam's reasoning and I'm going to give my reasoning. It's pretty funny how actually close together we are on this. Both of us find our least favorite song to be The Camera Eye.
You're both assholes.
Well, yeah, I got a merit badge to prove it. Adam said, like 47 songs in one song, knock your shit off, is what he said about The Camera Eye.
2112.
My notes here about The Camera Eye are 11 minutes of bullshit in 2 different parts. So that is my feeling on The Camera Eye. So we're not really that far off, which I believe The Camera Eye, when I was reading, they have 2 different parts of it. It's the New York part and the LA part. New York part. London part. Okay, and it was something with an L there. So
it was Neil's observations while touring.
Okay.
And his observations of these 2 cities, how they contrast, how they compare,
and
the whole. I'm actually surprised that Regina, did she get as far as The Camera Eye?
We really didn't, because it was a short car ride, but still, just her whole reaction
I would
up
think
to that point was very positive.
I would think something like that would potentially pique her interest.
Oh, it probably did. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like I said, the album, like I said, we honestly did not get through the whole album with me and Regina. But, I mean, I listened to it a bunch of times over the week. It's just I'm not always in the car with Regina, or we don't always have an opportunity to put it on. In between Simple Songs and Miss Rachel and Laurie Berkner, sometimes we can't fit Rush in. It just doesn't happen.
Hey.
But just her overall reaction for what she heard in the time we were in the car was just positive all around. You know what I mean? So I'm sure if it went on, she probably still would have been enjoying it. But
yeah. I mean, Adam's his critique is theoretically correct with the long song, but this album was also, they really didn't do anything epic long wise. They did maybe 2 other songs for the rest of their entire career on album. So this was it was almost like they had to do something to equal that epic song,
right?
And sometimes like 2112, entire epic album sides. That was their answer to that. Yep. I don't know. I loved it. Okay. I love the song.
Okay. Well,
I could sing it back to you. The words that hold 9 yards.
You're also a drummer, so we don't hold your opinion to too high of standards. So. So on to the Discogs value. This is Adam's copy of Rush Moving Pictures. I will say this is one of the fucking coolest covers ever, of the people pulling like basically carrying the paintings into the museum there, and they're just like, it's just cool. And you were mentioning about the one guy is on several different covers, right? For Rush.
And you can't even see his face on this one.
You can't even see his face on this one because he's carrying the logo, the dude there. But
the Starman logo.
The Starman logo, yes, David Bowie logo. So
you got the Starman, you got the dogs playing part, and you got Joan of Arc.
Yep. But like it is cool, and then you got like the back cover with like showing how it's supposed to be kind of like a movie screen type of thing. But it's cool. It's very cool. According to Adam's, if this is still the original sleeve, the poly sleeve that Adam got this in, I'm going to guess that he picked this up secondhand. Knowing Adam, he probably picked it up at that tune store in fucking Voorhees or New Jersey with some girl that he dated for like 3 weeks and got her like, made sure she had 3 kids that he doesn't take care of as well. Actually, I say that in jest because Adam actually takes care of his kids very well. But it has an old price sticker on it for about, and it looks like it was $20. So he probably bought it used for $20. What he actually has here is a 1981 Presswell pressing. Now you had gotten into something about an ultimate first pressing of the album. Can you explain what you were telling me earlier?
This was Christ, I don't know where I read it, heard it. The very first, wherever that pressing comes, the very first pressing of the vinyl, they had to re-release that pressing because it did not have the very first note of Tom Sawyer.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm wondering is it does it go down not necessarily as a first pressing, but does it go down as a misprint? That's what I would wonder.
That would. I didn't.
Yeah. No, I hear it. Yeah.
But yes, I would think that would be because the CD, they actually made it in CD. Was released on cassette, obviously at that time, and still on 8-track even.
Yep.
It was there for the other ones.
One of the cool things about this is that this is a 1981 pressing. It's the Presswell pressing, which sometimes you'll see the PR. What's kind of cool is because in the early 80s was when they started using UPC barcodes to collect data and inventory. This does not have the barcode on it. Most albums by 1981 did. But this does not. This does not have the UPC barcode, which is pretty crazy. Because I know, like, once you get to 1980, you'll have some that have them, some that don't. This one, even though it came out in 81, does not have the barcode. So that's kind of cool. So that's one of the ways to know if you have a really early pressing of this. The 40th anniversary edition of this that came out recently has, fucking different cover and everything, and barcodes, and I'm sure the 1987 pressing that came out, remaster pressing, probably has barcodes on it, stuff like that. But like, it is cool. So that's why if you have a used copy sitting around, look to see, does it have a UPC anywhere on it, on the front, on the back? This one does not. So it is a 1981 Presswell pressing, so it's a original pressing, so to speak. Looks like Adam paid $20 for it. The very good plus value of this album would be $56.90, bumping it up to $57, which is pretty fucking good for this. I would think if this is really a very good plus, and the cover's I'd probably do the cover a very good plus as well. He seems to have taken pretty good care of it. But about $57 for it, resale value is not far off. I think the median or average price is probably closer to like $30. But someone will probably would pay $57 for an original pressing of this album.
Box?
What's that?
Is this some?
Oh, we had it out first. It's on there. It's for sure.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. Did I fuck it up? We did have it. Yeah, there you go. We did have it out front. There you go.
This was.
Yep.
Mine.
Yeah, I know it was because when I got a bunch of records from you, these things had no records in them. They were just the sleeves, which is why we made it the box of Mike.
The records were shot because they were worn out, but I kept all these because I converted everything. I not converted.
Sit down so they can hear you. Yeah. But yeah, no, we got but yeah, that is moving pictures there. The box of Mike there. And those were your copies.
And that actually looks like it's in pretty good shape. So it probably was maybe my third purchase of this particular album.
Actually, you know what? Grab that real quick. I want to see something. If you wore it out, so I'm assuming if you repurchased it, it was probably repressings. So that makes me wonder, does
it have a barcode?
It does not have a barcode. This cover does not have a barcode. So it might have been one of your original pressings there. So there you go. All right. So that brings the total with Adam's $57. Adam kind of fucking creeps up on my lead there. With 5 records, Adam is at $368. I'm at 5 records. I'm up $24 on Adam at $392. The listeners are at $163 at 3 records, and Tom is at $57 with 1 record. So give me 1 second here. I gotta move this over now, and we're gonna bring it down. And as Mike was talking about the box of Mike there's the moving pictures, and then we have Exit Stage Left,
which was the tour for moving pictures.
Yep, and then we have Rush, and then we have, what's this one?
All the World's a Stage.
All the World's a Stage.
That was the tour for 2112.
And on the bottom we have
That was the Rush Through Time. That was their first kind of greatest hits.
Okay, so there you go. Michael Stripe says hello. What's up,
hello, Mikey?
All right, so Mike, reach in here, mix it up real good. We got to pick our next episode. So go ahead. Don't look. Just grab.
Okay.
Right.
Fine.
There you go. All right, so you got envelope number 7. What is this going to be? Yes, I'm excited. This is a me pick, so I'll be able to extend my lead a little bit more. Let me grab it. I've talked about this band a few times on season 1 and season 2 already. Counting Crows, Recovering the Satellites. This is my pick. This is also a mystery beer episode, so that'll be fun. We'll have that back. This is the Counting Crows' second release. After it's a release. Their sophomore release after August and everything after. I'll just say real quick, I thought about doing both of them on season 2, but decided to just do one. This, in my opinion, is the better of the 2 albums if you want to get into it, but I'll get into that more next week, where we're going to be talking about Counting Crows, Recovering the Satellites. Very excited about this. It's a good album. Good album.
I like them both equally.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is going. It's got a lot of hits on it, and it's a great album. Mike, do you have anything else to say about Rush or moving pictures?
No, just be a Rush fan. I mean, of course, with Neil's passing, 20 million speculations.
One more time for Neil. One more time for Neil Peart.
Of Alex and Getty ever touring again, blah blah blah.
That's okay. So let's before we totally sign off, let's talk about that real quick.
Now you're getting into drummer speak. I don't know if you musicians can handle that.
I kind of don't want them to. Do you know what I mean? Like I almost feel like it would be. No one's going to be as good. Plain and simple. No one's going to be able to take it over. You know what I mean? It's not like you could like fucking have Jason Bonham play with the Led Zeppelin reunion, which would work, or you know what I mean? Like
which he actually did.
Which he actually did. I know. But you know what I mean? But that's my point. Who the fuck would come in and play Neil Peart's parts? No one. No one could do it. It was that amazing. That's like getting the fucking
I disagree to an. Can anybody play it exactly like Neil did? No.
But if you're going to tour as Rush, you need to play it exactly.
Well, no, but
that's where I would go with that.
And like I said, there's been speculation, different names. There are the 2 names at the top of the list. Probably could.
Dave Grohl. Who are the 2 names?
He did a valiant.
Dave Grohl's an excellent
Taylor Hawkins tribute.
Yeah. Who are the 2 names at the top?
Mike Portney and Danny Carey.
I don't know who they are.
Mike Portney is a drummer for.
Did you say Dana Carey, like the comedian?
Danny Carey.
Oh, okay.
Mikey P is Jesus Christ! They just got back together for the reunion tour. He's been around forever. Jesus.
You've been drinking all day. It's fine.
I just can't remember the name of the damn band.
Our listeners will tell us.
It's one of my favorite bands.
Okay. It's not Yes. It's not Styx.
They were like the original prog rock metal band.
Dream Theater.
Dream Theater.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
See. Okay, wait, going back to my opinions of fucking prog rock and how controversial or whatever, if people are gonna think I'm stupid. All he said was the fucking prog rock heavy metal band, and who did I get? Dream Theater. I fucking got it, so I fucking researched that shit. So my opinion is educated.
And Danny Carey's Tool.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. That I wasn't sure. I don't mind Tool. Tool's prog rock, but I don't mind Tool. Tool's deep. Tool's deep.
That's because prog is good.
Nah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
But no, there and
I'm not white enough to like.
And
prog
Mikey
rock.
P hosted the Modern Drummer tribute video to Neil.
Okay.
After he passed, you know, and all kinds of great drummers came on. You know, he started it playing himself. I mean, these guys weren't just coming on talking about it. They were playing it. The Taylor Hawkins thing, obviously, you know, you saw Omar come up and do phenomenal. Dave, he held his own.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
But even at that, now there's another thing about Neil as you go through the years.
You know what Dave Grohl's holding right now? His new baby with his 19-year-old mistress. That's what Dave Grohl's holding right now. All right.
But if you listen to shit like that, you'll hear things, and these guys were influenced by him, and you could hear licks.
Yeah,
you know the cymbal shit. You know.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the two, one of the two of them could definitely hold their own. Maybe I wouldn't call it a tour, but maybe if they did a one-off.
Okay. Well, okay. If you're gonna do like a one-off, all right, maybe just like this is a tribute to this.
Yeah,
you know
to get the band back together.
Yeah, no. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that.
And I don't think either of them would do that.
Okay.
They might perform.
Right. Okay.
But not get back together as
I
Rush.
think I could accept that than someone going on tour with like Rush going on tour as Rush and saying, "Hey, this is us now." You know what I mean? So, all right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for talking Rush. Adam, you're not here, but thank you for picking this up. Adam should be back next week unless he decides he's got to work again. To talk about Counting Crows, recovering the satellites. And for now, it is time to